All right, so we're going to be looking at the humerus. This is the humerus. This is the upper portion of your arm. Here we have the head of the humerus, and then we also have the greater tubercle here, okay, and the lesser tubercle. Can you see that? The greater is going to be the larger one, and then the lesser tubercle. And in between those, we have the intertubercular groove. Intertubercular groove is what goes between those. And then we have the deltoid tuberosity. And so you can kind of see, if you look really closely, it goes straight down and then it has kind of a bump here and goes out. This is the deltoid tuberosity here. And then we have the coronoid fossa. Coronoid fossa on this side. Then on the opposite side, we have the olecranon fossa. And so what you want to do is orient it and pay attention to which way your head is facing. Okay, so this way, that was the coronoid fossa, and if we're facing this way on this bone, then we have the olecranon fossa. The olecranon fossa is a little bit deeper than the coronoid fossa. This is smaller. Let's look close. There's coronoid fossa and olecranoid fossa. See how that one's deeper? Okay, olecranon fossa, not olecranoid. All right, so then we also have the lateral epicondyle and the medial epicondyle. Lateral epicondyle, medial epicondyle. We also are going to look at the capitulum. So here we have the capitulum. The capitulum is here. And we've already looked at the olecranon fossa. Next, we have the radius. So if you are looking at your arm here, we have the radius and the ulna in the lower portion of our arm. The way I keep these straight is your thumb and your index finger make a U. Well, wouldn't it be great if that was where the ulna was? But it's not. So I just remember the side that makes U is not the ulna, it's the radius. So we have the radius here. Radius is thumb side, and ulna is the other side, okay? The ulna also, if it's removed, you could kind of say it makes a U. All right, so back to the radius. So we only have a couple of features here on the radius that we need to know. This is the head, okay? So we have the head here and the neck. We have the styloid process here. This is kind of small for a process, but it does stick out. So this is the styloid process. And then we have the radial tuberosity. Radial tuberosity. Next, we have the ulna, and so this is the one that is not thumb side, the ulna, so it would go right here. We have a lot more features on the ulna. So we look at the ulna, of course, we have the head, then we also have the styloid process down here. Okay, so this is the styloid process. Styloid process. Then we have the trochlear notch. Trochlear notch. We have the radial notch and the coronoid process. Coronoid process here. And we're also going to have the olecranon process. All right, so next we have the pelvis. I'm going to point my camera down a bit so you can see. We have a pelvis here. This is two sides of the pelvis, and here I have one side, okay? And so this would be the patient's right. So this is the right side of the pelvis here. So we have three components of the pelvis. We have the top portion, which is the ilium. Okay, so we have the ilium, and then we have the ischium down here. Okay, so this is the ischium. And then we have the pubis, which is where the pubic bones come together. Okay, so we have the pubis. All right, so if we're looking at the ilium, we're going to start with the anterior superior, that means above, iliac spine. Anterior, so front, superior, iliac spine. Down here would be the inferior anterior iliac spine, or you would want to say anterior inferior iliac spine. After that, we have the posterior superior iliac spine. So on the back side, posterior superior iliac spine, and then below this is the posterior inferior iliac spine. And then we also have what we call the greater sciatic notch, greater meaning larger, sciatic notch. And then we have the iliac fossa, which is going to be on this point. Remember, fossa is a depression, so the iliac fossa. Next, we have the iliac crest, that is above the anterior superior iliac spine. And then we have the sacroiliac joint. So the sacroiliac joint we'll need to show you on here. So you've got one on each side. This is where the sacrum and the ilium come together with a joint. Okay, so this here is your sacroiliac joint here, right here.